And we are live. Welcome, Legion, and with my good buddies Josh and George. Of course, I'm Damian. Welcome to the Killer Be Kill podcast. Least, almost least, listen to podcasts on the interwebs.
We are moving up.
Yeah, we are moving up by the ones. So what's going on, guys?
Just doing kickstart lessons. I got like 3 this week that I did. Well, I got 1 tomorrow.
Excellent.
So 2 that I've done and 1 tomorrow. So yeah.
Yeah,
So
and I'm
those
jumping
of
on
you-
one on Saturday. So
Awesome. So those of you that don't know, one of the things that we do, if you didn't figure it out already, we are, a full service training company. So we've got the content, which is all online and on demand. So we've got on there you can watch the videos, you can interact, you can ask questions, post comments, the whole bit. But beyond that, we do live training, one-on-one personal training, either in person or virtual. We will take you through step by step what you need to do, setting it up, and really customizing your program for you. And then if you want to continue, we'll continue to do once a month, once a week, twice a week, whatever, your fits in your budget and your time. And our goal is to really get you trained up as fast as possible based on your schedule, budget, and your ability. Because one of the things we struggle, that people struggle with when they see this stuff is when they're looking at it, they're like, do I have to do everything? Do I have to know everything? And no, I'm like, if you do one thing, it's funny. Like, and this goes for every, especially combat sports. Like combat sports, there's like thousands of moves, right? You're only doing like 5 or 6, right? You got your Sunday best that you go to, and then the rest is, what you improv and athleticism and conditioning and all that stuff. So it's, the misconception with martial arts is that, you have to master everything. As an instructor, you have to know how to teach everything. But, I'll teach, for judo example, like I'll teach Taitoshi. I'm not a Taitoshi guy, but I can explain it. I can teach it, right? We'll teach all kinds of neck cranks, dislocations, a multitude of strikes, very, simple stuff. But it's like, really, you're going to pick like, I like this, I like this, I like this. And that's my go-to. And then what you do with your training is you just make sure you go to, it's like, pulling them into the deep end of your pool, right? You're like, I'm not going to, so you watch it with MMA all the time. Guys are grappler, guys are striker, guys are, well, I'm going to just get my defense together and I'm going to kind of hang out here. And I'm not going to play his game. So it's really the same thing. It's just in a self-defense format, and it's just a heck of a lot easier. So, let's start with, first, before we go, we're going to move to a new time next week, everybody. We're going to start Tuesdays at 7. Set the reminder out. So we're going to go a little later, a little earlier in the week, especially now, too, since football season is kicking off. People on Thursday nights have a tendency to start, getting their football on. I mean, it starts off tonight. Again, in spite of what's going on in the NFL, which is, effectively, I guess they've ended racism, so there's no longer those in the end zone. Because it's like, but again, it's funny. Like I'm sure you saw like the Minnesota Vikings cheerleaders. Oh, so they have they've always been like male cheerleaders, and male cheerleaders are always like usually like gymnasts, strong guys that hold the girls up and that. Well, no, they've got like girls, like guys who are, like doing the same stuff as the women, which is personally, I don't care. I really don't care. I'm a Giants fan.
You sit here talking about this, right? And my brain immediately goes to, you remember the Chris Farley Chippendales?
Yes. Yeah.
I immediately start thinking about that when you talk about
Well, like in all fairness, these guys are a lot. They're in shape. They can dance. I mean, I don't care.
I just want them to bring the whole, the whole Chris Farley type thing.
I'm like,
I hope it's successful for them.
I do. Whatever. There's gay guys that watch football, right? So maybe a little something for them.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I? I'm not this old crusty. I'm crusty, but I'm not like so many other things to give a shit about. That this is probably not one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And on that note, let's talk about how much people hate us.
yes. What's the guy that's still football? Yeah, right. It is, Tim. It's a religion here. It's nuts. I'm also pissed off that now Red Zone they're gonna have commercials during Red Zone. So the great thing about Red Zone is they just swap from game to game. So, and if there's some action going on, they put it on, and it's supposed to be 7 hours of uninterrupted commercial-free football. And now it's not. Now they got commercials. So I'm like, personally, I think America's done. Because I'm like, yeah, it's just pissing me off. But before we get started, I want to give a shout out to where the heck are you, buddy? Hold on one second. Where is he? Had it up for a second. Okay, I want to give a shout out to Millard Longman. He's a Legion member. He's 82 years old. And he said, I quote, "Your methods are the best of all self-defense methods. Dozens I have looked at. You as a person are the best, and your book is fantastic. I'm an 82-year-old fan. Thank you, Millard. Much appreciated." Whenever I get these things, it's inspiring. Yeah, I can't get enough. So, always appreciate kind words. So thank you, Millard. And on that note, let's get to some hate mail.
Yeah.
All right. So is this sharing yet?
Not yet.
Okay, share window. Hold on. Stop sharing. Let's see, because this is a window that popped up. Extra president different broadcast. Sharing. Share screen. Window here. Share. Did that come up?
Nope.
Okay, this is a problem. Okay, it's sharing a window. Yep, work with me, people. The browser can actually stream capturing a different screen if this continues. Oh, nice. Okay, great. Hold on. Let me go here. Sorry, we're gonna have to get a producer at some.
The first bit of
Maybe
hate
when
mail
we
is about
cro-
how psychologically
maybe when we cross
useless we are.
100, we'll make this the goal.
Right.
If we cross 100 people who view, then maybe we can
Right.
get this a little bit more professional.
Right. Right. Exactly. Oh shit. So yeah, let me see if I can pull this up. Let me see if I can do this. Don't protect. Nope. Okay, so, but I think I can do it here. So give me 1 second, guys. Okay. Anyway, because this one just came up and it was funny because this guy. All right. Where are you? Here we go. Okay. Yeah.
No.
Share screen. Hate mail. Okay, good. Screw you. There you
Hi.
go. Okay.
We got there.
So, man, I didn't get that one enough. Hold on. All right, here. So, okay. Can we? Okay, we can see that. Okay, good. Okay, so this guy commented. So this one was for the attack to the rear when you're holding a club. So this guy, Lamond Chizek, complain that, you know, people don't carry clubs or sticks. You know, they part of their EDC, none of which are, you know, I'm like, so, you know, he's looking at this and thinking two things. One is that, let me just see if I can. I want to show. See, now I want to show the video, and this is going to be.
He's thinking we're all cavemen walking around.
Yeah, you know, I'm like, look, dude, you know, so hold on. That's company. Yeah, I'm never gonna find this thing. No, home. Notifications, profiles. No. Ah, man. Let's see if here. Is it this one? Yeah. I'm just gonna look them up real quick here. Sorry, guys. You know, feel free to talk.
I'm looking for this video on your Facebook that I absolutely love. So that's what I'm doing.
All right. Where the heck is it? Self-defense training. Where the hell did he comment? Is that self-defense company? Okay. Here we go.
I just hope you didn't get any hate mail on Granny. I love that.
Yeah. Right. Right. So, anyway, okay. All right. So this starts. Okay. So this is the club from behind, and where the hell was this posted? Self-defense company. All right. So let's go. Facebook. Nope. We want to go Facebook. I want to go to Ads Manager. I just want to go to Facebook. All right. So self-defense company. Videos. There we go. Okay. So it's this defense, right? So again, you guys can see that?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So now our hero, his first comment was, yeah, because I carry a bat everywhere I go, but I can carry so much better. It has a load boom. So he's talking about, you know, carrying a gun, right? I'm assuming, right? So my first response is like, yeah, yellow belt level comment. You act as if no one uses an umbrella or a cane, yet they seem to keep making and selling them. Strange. Right? So you know, I mean, people look at this stuff and they assume like, you know, we're just going to use a stick for everything.
Right.
Right.
Like that's all.
Right?
Our whole system, our entire system is based around a stick.
Right. Yeah. It's just, you know, it's like beyond belief. Like this could be a rifle. This could be, you know, you're doing riot. What if you're doing riot work? What if you're in riot gear and you have a club? Right. What if, you know, and you're
what if you just pick up a stick? I don't know.
Yeah. You know, and then the guy continues. You know,
I like you gave that a yellow belt comment.
Yes. Right. So
that was generous.
So now, you know, like he's like comes back and he goes, none of which are anyone's normal EDC. So
has he never been to the UK?
I don't know. You know, again, like you're looking at this thing with like such a small scope, and you know, he's like, none of which are normal, but most people have belts, strings, pistols, I'm assuming that's cloths, wallet, keys. Must I go on? Or are you going to continue to act as any of this you do real? So my response is like, belt? I'm like, you're going to disrobe when you're assaulted? You know, I'm like, okay, I take that back. White belt. So, I'm like, you look at this stuff and you're like, and this is the problem, because when people do see things, they automatically assume that this is, like you said, this is the grand scope of everything that you do, right? You are, the stick guy, they say that, they can think of like a million ways of why it could go, why you wouldn't do this. And they put it out there like it's gospel. And, you act as if, like, one, if you're carrying a gun for an EDC, why would you could carry a cane. In fact, a cane was the first EDC ever used, probably one of the first self-defense weapons, because the people who carrying them are older or injured.
So according to Science Daily, approximately 16.4% of seniors use a cane daily.
Right.
So you're talking like a couple million people at least.
Right. But not in what's his name's not in Le Mans world.
No.
No one there's no sticks around anywhere. I
know what it is? I got it. He must live in Nova Scotia, where going in the woods is illegal.
Is it?
Gotcha, George.
Yeah. Right. So when you're seeing these, it's literally a 30-second blurb. That's why when I look at stuff and people are like, oh, look at self-defense, I'm like, I don't know what the context of what people are doing, so it's hard to even comment, unless people are like, do this if you're really attacked, and then something bionically stupid. But I see, like, you're carrying it. What your EDC is whatever you want to carry.
Yeah.
That's your EDC. It's not, it's not like, oh, I'm only going out with a windbreaker and sandals on. Well, you're really not preparing for anything. It's like people, someone commented, a while ago, it's like, well, so-and-so on this channel looked over 10,000 videos and he said no one used a knife for self-defense. And I'm like, I have no way to verify that. But if that's the case, I'm like, maybe more people should be carrying a knife for self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
What do you, right? I'm like, so you're telling me nobody does it. Maybe they should freaking do it. I got a daughter. I'm like, she's got a variety of things on her. So if she gets pinned down, she has, some options.
And you're just sitting here talking EDC. We're not even talking about weapons of opportunity fucking laying around, right? Like, we haven't even gotten into that side of things.
No, so you can, I'm like, it's just a technique, man. Using a club in a specific situation. It's nothing deeper than that. And that's, and then they get into this whole, thing.
It challenges their narrative, though,
Yeah. How do you mean?
Just by simply saying lots of people carry canes and umbrellas, that's now challenges narrative, right? Oh, well, I was talking about sticks, but those are technically clubs, which are kind of like a stick. So I don't, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you know what? Impact weapons. It's just put it into fucking impact weapons, right? Like, this is how we utilize them.
I mean, what happens if you're at your kid's t-ball game and you've got, the little t-ball bat that's like this big, like.
Yeah. Right. There's, what if you're chopping wood? So,
in Alaska, that's legitimate.
Yeah.
Right.
Downtown New York, maybe not.
Right. Well, or maybe, with what's going on, like, holy cow. So, yeah. Thank you for that. I mean, and they just keep going. And yeah.
Cool. What's our next one?
Okay.
These are great, aren't they, Josh? I love these.
I love these.
So this is for the body armor. And apparently I've got, tiny eggplant. If you see that comment there, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then my response was like, what do small vegetables have to do with concealed ballistic protection? You know, why is what? So I don't want to get shot, or I'm afraid of getting shot, or I'm concerned and I want to have ballistic protection. But now, because of that, I have small genitalia. Now, these are the same people, because if you go on Brandy's, you know, she's got very left-oriented kind of stuff, which is all memes. I'm imagining, you know, she's probably triple vaxxed, you know, kind of person. She's probably still wearing a mask. I don't know. But, you know, these are the same people that will scream over gun control and gun violence.
Yep.
Yet, what do you mean? You know, I don't understand why this makes me any less of a man that I don't want to get shot.
Yeah, I mean, what is it having body armor? Like, that's being prepared. I mean, that's being more manly in my mind.
Right. And, you know, you have people who are, and all these people are terribly anti-gun.
Yeah.
Why are you anti-gun? Well, because people are getting killed and people are getting shot and children stuff. Okay.
So you should be totally pro body armor.
Yes.
Yes.
You should be like, you know, I get, oh, it's a shame we have to use this. Yeah, I get it. Okay. You know, I give you that. Whatever. Moving on. This is, you know, we're drowning and you're describing the water. You know, okay, you know. So yeah, this like, it's funny because when I get these, they usually come in batches.
Of course.
You know. Okay, here's another one. So this is the one where
I'm sure this one gets tons of hate mail.
Yeah, it's freaking great. So this is the one where I'm pulling out all the knives and things like that. And they're like, unfortunately, a lot of that is illegal in many states. Yeah, Steve, that's the point. Criminals carry like this. I said, look, this, whatever. This is what you face in the street. Yeah, no kidding. That's my point. It's illegal. I'm telling you that this is what the problem with grappling is. And you're telling me, unfortunately, dude.
Even if he carries one of whatever you pull out, it's more than enough.
Right. Correct. Right. But again, it's criminals.
Yeah.
It's criminals. It's not, you know, you're missing the point of everything. And you know, and then you just post it out there like, look, I'm a moron. My flower is my, you know, emoji. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? You know, holy crap. So yeah, I mean, you get this, you know, this one you get a lot. Okay, that's okay, so yeah, okay, here's another one. So yeah, this is it's fucked. It's fucked up that we even have to say it. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't for the world we want, just the world we live in. And then this guy's like, called me a pussy. And then he's like, don't let your vagina go dry while you live in fear and stroke your weapon waiting for something to happen. And I'm like,
what is he talking about?
So my response is like, oh, so there isn't a mental health issue or a crime issue. Okay, great. P.S. Your fixation on female genitalia is a bit disturbing. You know, here's the pussy comment. So I'm supposed to be a man and just let you shoot me, or
but I'm like being a man by what? Not defending yourself? Like, I don't understand what the premise on this.
Right. I mean, these people I guess they just watch a lot of movies and they think like, oh, well, you should just be able to fight everyone. Do you know how tired you get in an actual fight?
Oh gosh.
Unbelievable. You know, you're sitting there watching these movies, you're watching this guy take out like 3 or 4 guys, and you're like, bro, I'm like, all those guys are like trained fucking killers. And you know, you're sitting there like getting rid of them and fighting for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then they go run to the next location and do it all over again.
That's right.
Dude, after what, you know, fucking throw up. You know, you're gonna be so exhausted. So exhausted. even if you make it, even if God forbid you're in a gunfight, the adrenaline dump alone, I mean, you are toast, man. That's why
these are people that have never experienced adrenaline, never experienced an altercation, never even did combat sports. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And of course,
it's always those ones.
Of course, he's got the 8647 kill Trump. No shocker there. Again, so are you?
He's the guy sitting on the couch eating the bag of fucking chips, watching the UFC, trying to fucking say, "You should do this, you should do that."
or he's the guy who's like, Antifa protesting. You know what I mean? He's like, oh no, don't do that. You don't need that. Try to, you could get put my hat on. Getting, try to weaken, our resolve, if you will. But yeah, again, I don't know what being prepared and wearing body armor. So I guess like all SWAT teams, all cops, all military security, these guys are just,
I guess if wearing body armor when that's a real credible threat makes me weak, then throw on all the body armor.
Right.
Not to mention body armor's heavy. For anybody who hasn't worn it, body armor's heavy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you could get the expensive stuff. It's lighter, a lot.
Lighter is still not light when you've worn it for hours.
Right. But again, like even with our stuff, you're not wearing it for hours, right? You're just putting it on, going where you got to go. But yeah, wearing it all day, sucks. This one was just funny. This guy, Dave Hardy, nice last name. Keep on talking. I'm scrolling on. This is for the free self-defense class. I'm just like, bye. I'm like, why do you have to,
scroll?
No one cares. No one cares. He's just getting enjoyment out of you, Dave Hardy, because you're a knucklehead. Keep talking. I'm scrolling on. Dave, no one gives a shit.
Those are the same guys who post and they're like, I was special forces, blah, 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 blah. All you need is X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
This program's garbage.
Right.
Right. Okay. And I go, even if you were special forces, this program might not be for you. But if you're not, which you probably aren't.
If you're posting it, you're not, dude.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're not.
Yeah.
No one thinks it's just, but people always make up lies about stuff. And that's why I always call them out on it. One guy was like, I was a black belt in judo, blah, blah, blah. I go, good. I go, what's your name? I want to look you up. What are you, doxing me? I'm like, you're claiming a credential and I want to verify it.
I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm like, your name's on a list at the Kodakon with mine. So, you can go right ahead and look. And it's like, you're sitting there, you're like talking all this shit with an anonymous, with the, whatever bullshit name and, fake, icon, you're like, dude, who's taking you seriously? Now you want to put yourself up. You want to stay anonymous, but you want to put yourself up as an expert. Then be who you are so we can look at you and examine your credentials. Okay. This guy actually liked, and he came back. He's like, what if you're attacked from behind by someone running full speed? My response was like, cut to the side or run out of bounds to stop the clock. Was it football? And then he went on to explain later that he was supposedly a cop and he got attacked from behind and he, had to pull out his knife. But he's posting this on social media, which I think is insane when people start talking about actual assaults, if they actually happened, because why would you, do that? Maybe it was years ago, whatever. I'm assuming it was true. I'm like, and then my response is like, dude, I go, if you don't see it, you weren't aware and it's not your day. If you want some secret, if you want some secret squirrel ninja stuff, I'm not your guy.
Improve your awareness, even in the heat of battle. Like that's all we got for you.
Yeah. Like, you can only fight what's in front of you. And if you're not paying attention, if you don't see it, you can't defend it. I remember doing like these drills, with like in the dojo with someone throwing a tennis ball and you're supposed to like hear it in the air and like move when you heard it. And
well, that's some real ninja stuff.
That is.
I got hit with a lot of balls.
How many balls to the face have you taken in your day?
Just the chin. So so we're looking, and I'm like, what good is this? I go, if I'm outside and there's like there's any amount of noise, but this is like shit martial artists believe and spend their time like messing around with, right? Like, oh, you'll be able to feel them. I'm like, I'm not gonna bank on that, but if I'm walking through certain areas and I'm not looking around, that's bad on me. Yeah, so it's this one. Okay, yeah, this is the original comment from Lamond. Yeah, because I carry a bat everywhere. Okay, we already did that already. It's done. Okay. So these are great. Celebrating Kyle Rittenhouse style. Yeah. I'm like, that was like, this is for body armor, I guess. I don't know. Well, if you're looking for okay, yeah, this is some woman who wrote this poem that she's probably cutting and pasting on everything about joining ICE. And I'm like, what? It's like, okay. I don't know. I have no comment on that. That's freaking too stupid. So you can see they're coming from angry blue-haired lesbian. What's this one? Now, this is yeah. Oh my god. So I don't know why he posted this. Sounds right. It just isn't as convincing if it's coming from an angry blue-haired lesbian. I'm like, I don't understand that. So I don't know. And then this guy, maybe if I add bitch, you say, huh, but change your thumbnail, LOL. You all AI. I'm like, you lost me. I don't understand. These are like real people. Like just these aren't even thoughts. It's like coming, and this is oh yeah, here's more of them. Yeah. What is he pulling on, bitch? So what is he pulling on now? I feel you're going down to Sheeta Kim level of ads. I'm like, huh? I
you don't understand that, Damian?
Perfectly fucking true. I don't know.
Come on, you boomer.
Right, exactly.
Get with the fucking times.
So yeah, this is another one. This is the body armor. The police aren't going to like this one, LOL. And I'm like, actually, quite a few purchased them for themselves and their families. Like,
why do the police care if you're wearing body armor or not?
Right. I mean, if you're committing a felony, it's a problem.
Obviously, yeah.
But here's the thing, and that people think about when they see the backpack, oh, great for the next school shooter. I'm like, moron. If you're gonna go shoot up a school, you're gonna wear body armor, you're just going to put it on. You're not gonna get outside this. You're not gonna add another thing to what you have to do. Yeah. Right? Like you're planning this thing. You're gonna put on your body armor, maybe throw a coat over it, right? And then, or not. And then you're just going to go in, because in a matter of moments, when people see you walking in the school with a firearm, they're going to know why you're there.
I guess if you're a student, use the backpack to get in, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. That's an idea. Sure.
Not that I'm giving anybody ideas.
Right. But if you're right. I mean, and you can conceal anything. You still got to carry a firearm in.
Yeah.
So yeah, and by the way, when you get as if you're facing a team and they're shooting you, they'll shoot you center mass, which is going to, multiple times, it's going to knock you down. And then they're going to come up and finish you. It's not like, oh, he's down. No, you do what soldiers do. Josh, care to eliminate, let's say you're clearing a room and you shoot a guy and he drops. What does the guy behind you do?
He comes up and makes sure it's all done.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like, it's not like, oh, you're going to let him sit there and fake being dead. You're going to make sure he's freaking dead.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean, these people like, this is all like a lot of stuff is just like movie based and, thinking of, if someone's like, if you really wanted, like, if you want to ban body armor, it's okay. You might as well ban sheet pans, all kinds of metal, anything, God, you can go to the cooking section of any department store and find stuff that will work. You can go to a hardware store and make body armor. You can get sheets of aluminum, let's say, even if it comes out weighing like, 20 pounds for a set, you're going to be carrying it just for a limited time. You're not going to be wearing it all day. So, you can get pretty, with some tin snips and some duct tape, you can make this stuff. So
I wonder how many sheets of aluminum it would take. I'm curious.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to
let us know by Tuesday. That's usually
right. Exactly.
I'm gonna AI this later.
Right.
We're gonna see you next week with like 40 sheets.
This is how many it takes. It's like getting to the bottom of the Tootsie Roll Pop, right?
Yeah.
This is how many it takes.
Oh shit. All right. That's my wait, I was gonna say one more. Wow. Self-promoting, yeah. When one has to go there, they aren't not much chop. Bro, in a street fight, you just don't know what is being served, so it's like a mystery box. I'm like, I wish I understood what you wrote. I can't even respond. I'm like, I don't know if he's complimenting me. I don't know if he's not. I don't know. I don't know, man. Again, his name is Jet Li. Nice. So he's obviously a real person. I don't know what you're telling me. So
I think where he's going with that one is the fact that you are advertising must mean that your business is not good enough. But how does anybody know you exist if you don't advertise?
Yeah.
And then the second half of that is maybe why take a class because you never know what's going to happen in the street anyways. But then that also doesn't make sense because then how can you be prepared for what happens in the street?
You can't, Josh. You can't. It's impossible.
It is impossible.
It's impossible.
You're right. Unless you have really generic, gross motor movement based, non-situational self-defense.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Which is not the video that I sent you.
Okay.
I emailed you a video.
All right. Do you want to look at it now?
Yeah. It's perfect timing.
Okay. All right. Good. All
this is my favorite video. As soon as you see it, you're gonna be like, "Oh, this one."
All right. Cool.
So all these comments, everybody leads to this video.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I feel bad because people jumped on this thing like crazy when I reposted it. So here we go. Let's put some volume on this.
Yes.
This is my favorite video.
Yes.
I feel yeah. And these are the people who are commenting, by the way. So okay, here we go.
Yes, drive.
All right.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Nice, set, do it again.
That was so flawless.
Fatality.
Right. Get over here.
It's your turn.
Get over here.
It was a flawless victory.
I'm not
Time.
ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's it. That's what all those comments lead to.
That's right.
yeah, hold on, wait. This is it's playing. Wait. All right. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Just
know if
stop
that's
sharing.
me or
Just
yeah. Is that still going?
nope. It was you.
Yeah, I'm still hearing it in my
Oh, are you? Oh, we're not hearing it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything.
Oh, there. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Okay. So yeah. Okay.
What do you say after that, right?
Hold on. Yeah, no, I can't. I'm like there's
I
something,
derailed it.
like there's something coming up. I'm like, I have like I'm hearing hold on a second.
Damian's
Okay.
been hacked.
It's done. Yeah, it was like, okay. Yeah. So you're looking at that video and you're watching this girl, do like these the one punch stop thing, but that's what we're dealing with. That's what people are. Let me just find it because I got it on YouTube. So let me just yeah, hold on. Just say no.
Next time, see if you could add like a Three Stooges soundtrack into the back of that. I think that'd be great.
Right. Right.
We should just make that the 30-second intro.
Yes.
We really should. I'm like, man. I gotta find this thing.
What was it? Defense for poke against the eyes? Remember the?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like, yeah, like no production. He threw me off. So,
sorry,
anyway.
everybody. I broke him.
Yeah, it's not difficult. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me just let me search my videos. I know I can do it. Hold on, wait. Explain. Here it is. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so yeah. All right. I got everybody. Thank you. You're very patient. There you go. Okay, so let me just mute this. All right. So yeah, so can anyone explain what's happening here? So, you're watching this, like, first off, this is like they used to do like one-step sparring where, someone would throw a technique, you'd evade and counterattack. So this is and that even there, it's one-step sparring, it's a drill. It's not for like actual sparring. It's just kind of, you're practicing like Tai Sabaki, your body movement, getting out of the way and like counterattacking. It's just kind of, it's like a pre-step before actual sparring.
Yeah.
So, you just do it, and it's just, and then it's like, okay, we're going live, because you're like kind of like, inoculating them to the stress of sparring. But this, okay, punch not even near her head, right? So
Can we also say how slow her reaction was to that?
well, and even if she never had a chance, and she, by the way, she knows what's coming.
Yeah.
This is I'm throwing a right hand punch. Okay, throwing a right hand punch. In the real world, no, it's going to be a right, left, right, left, right, left, right, 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 right. So, this whole thing, and look at the attacker's feet. He doesn't, move in, and she doesn't move. She stands there. Like,
wait, can we point out really quick when we're talking about positioning and stuff like that? She's at the position of disadvantage. He's intersecting her.
If he pushes into her, if he just steps forward, he's knocking her backwards.
Yeah.
She has zero athleticism in her. And again, I feel bad, we're just using this as a learning tool, because you see people who look like studs do this crap. It just looks a lot cooler because it's faster and more violent.
It's way more choreographed.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's shit. It just looks like good shit. So there's that. So now you're watching this. I don't know what that was.
Because turning your back to your opponent is a great idea.
And switching the hand, and he's standing there, and what you do after is whatever.
I think that was like a dance move, wasn't it? Like she's gonna fucking spin him or something.
Right. And all these people are paying for this, and I get why don't you just teach her to just fucking just hit him right in the head and run him over?
Hey George, where's this video that Tim sent you?
The video that Tim sent me.
Yeah, Tim says he sent you a video a couple days ago.
He sent me a couple
you really
videos.
Want to drag the Tim? I'm going to be on here till like 9:00 now.
George, oh my God. Send us the video, or Tim, send us the video.
George is never going to find it.
What are you talking about? Hold on.
Post the link, Tim. No. Post the link.
Yeah, post the link, dude. Yeah, holy crap, man. Yeah, never happened. Never happened. And again, I feel bad trolling these people. I do, because they're well-meaning.
I mean, are we really trolling them though? I mean, as far as I know, I've been on their post and been like, "Hey, this is amazing," and like all kinds of other stuff.
Right. And there's people that are like, "Yeah," I'm like, "What are you doing?
You go, girl."
Yeah, I'm like, "What? What are you doing?" Okay, he's a Facebook Messenger. Yeah, we'll never see George again. He's gone. So. So, George, next this is for you, and I know you're going to post this, but I wanted to talk about this because this was just happened in your neck of the woods. So, here we go. I guess this is York, Canada Regional Police Chief Jim McSway. Was it McSwee? All right, ready.
In the unlikely event that you find yourself the victim of a home invasion, we are urging citizens not to take matters into their own hands. While we don't want homeowners to feel powerless, we urge you to call 911 and do everything you can to keep yourself and loved ones safe until police arrive, and be the best witness possible. This could mean locking yourself in a room away from the perpetrator, home, but don't engage unless absolutely necessary. But as it stands, we know the best defense for most people is to comply, as you've just heard, a number of safety recommendations.
Okay, thoughts?
Oh boy.
I hate Canada.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you have an actual built safe room, that's what those are for. But to just say you just lock yourself like in your bathroom or something, gosh dang, man.
Yeah. The best thing to do is to comply. So, okay, so people, a home invasion is not a burglar. A home invasion is a violent human being.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they came in knowing that you're home.
Yes. So they're going to be armed, aggressive, and violent. And so right now, he's green-lighting all of these people. This is the same country that told us to leave your keys in your
I was going to say it if you didn't.
Yeah. Leave your keys in your front door. So if they come in, they're usually armed. Wait, aren't guns illegal? They're usually armed. So you should. So why are they armed and I'm not armed?
Exactly.
Yeah, leave your keys on the porch so that if they want to steal your car, they can just take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might as well just leave the car running. Just go fucking start it up and let go.
This is the sign of like failed fucking leadership, failed community, failed public safety. If the citizens are not, allowed to take the law in your own hands, I'm defending my life and my family against violent offenders. And they're coming into my home. And you're saying to comply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody watch Law Abiding Citizen?
Oh, right. Was that a movie?
It was a movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Who was in that?
Oh gosh, what's his name?
Didn't his wife get murdered or something, or he broke her out of jail? Something happened.
So home invasion. and
Yeah.
the guy comes in and abuses his family in front of him and then kills them, and then he creates this massive plan to, you know, basically get revenge.
Right.
Yeah, ask him about how, you know, that fake character, you know, obviously based on real things that happen all the time. You know, ask him how that went for him.
Right. Hold on. So, okay. So here's a little thing. For Chief McSway. Share this time I said. Okay, the Cheshire murders. On July 27th, July 23rd, 2007, two home intruders entered the home of the Pettit family in Cheshire, Connecticut. The perpetrators, Linda May Lee, known as Stephen Hayes at the time, here we go again, and Joshua I don't know if I can fuck your name, initially planned only to burgle the house, but went in under Jennifer Hawk Pettit, that's the mom, and her two daughters, 17-year-old Haley and 11-year-old Michaela. Their father, Dr. William Pettit, managed to escape despite sustaining severe injuries. Upon entering the Pettit's home, one beat William with a baseball bat, and he and Hayes restrained him in the basement along with Jennifer and her daughters. Lee later kidnapped Jennifer, forced her to withdraw money at the bank. After returning home, Lee raped her. Okay, so hold on a second. Linda May Lee. Okay, let me, you know, continue on this. She was Stephen Hayes at the time. Now she's trans. She raped a woman. That even, like, he raped a woman. This is so funny. Come on, people, stop doing this. Lee raped her. So Linda May Lee raped her, but was Stephen Hayes. So that psycho was a man at the time. So again, they're killing, like, you know, English, the language. Lee raped her and strangled her to death. And the other guy raped 11-year-old Michaela. The invaders then decided to burn down the house to destroy evidence. The invaders tied Haley and Michaela to their beds, doused them and the house with gasoline, and set it on fire, leaving them to die of smoke inhalation. The case garnered significant attention in Connecticut, citing it as possibly the most widely publicized crime in the state's history. The murders received natural. They were convicted of murders and sentenced to death. Their sentences were vacated August 2015 when the Connecticut Supreme Court ruled that the death penalty was unconstitutional and retroactively computed. Fuck Connecticut too. So, you know, here is a home invasion of this family. They complied. They even went as far as to drive them to the ATM and give them what they want. But it's not enough. See, here's the thing, Chief, you fucking piece of shit, is that when these people come into your home, they're willing to do whatever you want. They want to do what they want, and they're going to take what they want, and you don't know where it's going to end. That's the freaking. Yep. You think, you know, you're such a despicable crap that I can't even, you know, I'm looking at this weasel, and I'm like, you're such a weak piece of shit. I can't, and you're encouraging people to let that happen to them. You know, I don't know, man. You know, I mean, George, you got to get out of there. You know, because if you're sitting there and you're defending even a shit ass place like New Jersey, somebody comes into your house, you pretty much can do whatever the hell you want. Yeah. You know? So even here, even in your car, so you got this freaking guy just telling people, roll over, give them what they want. They're criminals, right? They're not coming in with, oh, we're just going to go in and get out. No, let's see what we can mess with next. Yep. That's what's going to happen. And that's what they do. They're screwed up.
And just wait for the police to show up.
Yeah, wait. Well, if I'm allowed to dial, they're going to let me dial the phone. Okay, I'm going to get in my fucking bathroom and do that. I have to get to my bathroom, right? What happens during a home invasion? Depending on where you are in the house, right? So If I'm downstairs and they kick the door in and they're right there, kind of screwed. If I'm in my bedroom, now I've got my kids, would I go to their rooms or do I say, screw them? How big is my house? Right? Is it a 3-bedroom ranch? Right? Yeah. I'm like, and they come in the front door and now my kids are over in their room and we're over in our room. What are you saying, you ponce? You are such a weak piece of crap. I can't even, please people, holy cow. It's unfathomable to me that this comes out of someone in law enforcement's mouth.
Yeah.
I just, I would be, and there's people that are like, yeah, you're right. Why? Because you're sitting there and you're thinking, as a normal, nice person who doesn't want to do any, ill to anyone, right? You're nice, right? So it's like, yeah, I'll just give them what they want. They just want some money. They just want some things. They just want to just come in and get what they need and leave. No, they don't. You don't know what they want. And they're going to want to do stuff. And then they're going to be like, you know what? Can't leave a witness. Sorry, you're bad. You're, unlucky day.
It's like the same people who, when somebody's like, oh, my tablet was stolen, my phone was stolen, my car was stolen, whatever, right? And then the people respond with, well, that person probably needed it more than you.
Yeah, right. Well, if they did, how about they go get a freaking job? How about, and usually, by the way, when they're stealing it, if they're stealing your electronics, they're going to sell them so they can buy drugs. Exactly. Or they're trying to get all your information off of it and just make your life a living hell. Your tablet is the least of your freaking worth. It's all your passwords. It's all your freaking bank account stuff. It's all that stuff that's on there. So yeah. So this hero is, disgusting, and yeah, screw him. So anyway, I know there's one more thing I wanted to talk about. And that is,
I don't know, after that emotional ride.
Yeah, I think I think we should maybe end it there. I was going to talk about the last shooting in might as well. The one in Minneapolis where there's just an angle I want to take on this. So, there's a latest trend of trans or LGBTQ becoming active shooters. It's tough to see what percentages because, when they use the term, let me stop sharing this piece of shit. When they use the term active shooter, it's such a wide, variety, it could be, I shot a gun and a bunch of other people around. It could be gang related. It could be crime, it could be violent crime, not necessarily an active shooter. So it's hard to tell, compare what really is trending, against, because on the right, they're saying, oh, look at all these trans LGBTQ that are, killing people compared to the other ones. I don't know how many comparatively, but it seems to be this trend, because when let me just share my notes. Share screen window. Here we go. Okay. You guys seeing that or no? No.
Nope.
All right.
Not yet.
Never mind. It doesn't matter. I can just talk. So, I'm listening to all this stuff and what happens after. So there's an active shooter, and what's the first thing people talk about after I should say mass murder or multiple murder? What's the biggest thing?
Gun restrictions, of course.
Yeah. Right. So we need more gun laws. We need blah, blah, blah. They always hear like legally purchased firearms, things like that. So we talked about this before. No one's addressing the mental health issue because no normal person thinks about shooting up a school. RFK brought up a great point. He goes, look, we've had this many guns since the 50s and 60s. He goes, these things didn't happen. We're looking at mental health issues as how they directly relate to active shooters. Why? Because you have to be nuts to want to kill a lot of people. Or you're a terrorist, right? So, or you're a warrior and you're going to fight for the cause. But, this last guy there's a lot of things out about him. Everything from, well, I regretted getting the surgery. Whatever. I hate to call these things manifestos, but, in his notes, and he was pissed off about that. And, so he went to this school and did their thing. But I think what's happening is now it's evolved into, literally triggering these people into doing that and inciting violence, because you'll see, TikTokers in that community will talk about, well, if I'm, if you don't let me in the bathroom, and this is a man who's dressed as a woman or whatever the fuck it is, if you don't let me into the bathroom, then I'm gonna fight. It's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna kill people. I'm gonna do all this other shit. So they get these people riled up, where it's like they're like, you look at this guy's magazines. It was like he was on a mission, right? I mean, he was like, it was bigger than him. He was going to make a statement, and that's what they're doing. So now it's like you see this evolution of how they're using these poor, twisted people who need real help and leveraging them against the Second Amendment. Because the more these things happen, the more that gun rhetoric comes in. And when they take away the guns, you lose free speech. And when that happens, you become the UK. And you become, so, I'm like,
you become Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
I just, because when you look, now you've got like, so you had this dude in Minnesota in 2025. You had the shooter in Nashville 2023. You had another one in Colorado Springs 2022. I'm not saying their names. Fuck them. You had another one in Highlands Ranch in 2019 and another one in Aberdeen, Maryland in 2018. So these are people in this community. It's not like they got a zip code.
Like one a year, at least.
Yeah. Where you've got these poor, twisted souls that are hyped up and they arm themselves and they, kill people. And every time they do it, everybody gets out, never let a crisis go to waste. They chip away, they chip away, they chip away, and it's, you can't, and they create more, because they don't just do that and kill that one person. It's the same theory as like creating terrorists. Like when you kill one terrorist, you create 10. So now for every victim who survived these horrific events, you've created multitude of anti-gun people, right? So it starts to spread out. So now it's like my niece, my daughter, I see it with my friend, I said, my friend down in, was in Stoneman Douglas, my niece. And it's just something I don't talk about with him, because why? It's not the point. I'm not going to sit there and be like, whatever. So, watching this unfold with every event creates thousands of people, 100, just that are like, yeah. And it just gets more people, onto that bandwagon. And what they're doing is just like wearing down the Second Amendment with the blood of children. And it's just a happy accident. It was like, hey, let's launch COVID now that, Trump's in office. If you don't think that was a thing, bullshit. And if Trump wasn't in office, COVID would have come and went. It would have been like, okay, yeah, swine flu again, let it go through. But no, it got amped up, and it gets amped up every freaking time. And they're allowing this to happen. You've got a mental health crisis in this country, that's being fueled by pharmaceuticals and shitty psychiatry. and creating these poor, twisted people. I mean, I feel like if someone, one of my kids, I think Russell Peters did something great. He was on one of these freaking thing I listened to, and he's like, my daughter came to me. She was like a teenager. She's like, Dad, I think I'm trans. I think I'm really a boy. And he's like, okay. And he just kind of left it at that, right? He just kind of let it simmer and let it stew. And then he's like, about, it's like a year later, she's like, I think I'm lesbian. He's like, okay. And then he just kind of let it go. And then finally she's like dating a guy. Right. So, a lot of this stuff, it's like, okay, it's like you kind of be like, okay, fine. Is it attention? Is it, is it a psychotic break? What am I witnessing here? Where, you want to all of a sudden change your gender. And, back in my day, our day, like when somebody wanted to change sex, it was a process. Like you had to go through like years of therapy and like the whole freaking, like it was a long time. And it was like almost like you had to like qualify, and they're kind of like talking you out of it, which is what they should be doing, not being insensitive. Like, okay, let's work through this. What makes you think that? Okay, do you think you could possibly be like, a lot of people have these feelings, that they don't feel like they're supposed to, I mean, that's kind of part of growing up and exploring, maybe, how many of my friends that are gay, if they grew up in a certain household, would be trans just because they don't like girls. If you're like parents, like now, you're like, oh, maybe you're just not gay. Maybe you're just, born in the wrong body. So now you've got these twisted, poor souls who now are being fueled by, those woke causes, if you will, and then being empowered immediately. Because when you're like, hey, I'm a girl. It's like, you go, girl. You're so brave. You're so this. You're so that. And yeah, you can't tell me. It just gets, nobody's looking at it. Like, it's like seeing someone who's anorexic and be like, yeah, you're fat as shit. You should lose weight. Right? It's like, you're really, yeah. You can lose a few pounds, Porky. Yeah, right? I'm like, you're feeding into this phobia. And, you're like, well, they don't know what they're having. It's a mental crisis. And you got to help them. And then maybe through that, hey, maybe you should be a girl. Maybe you should be a boy. Maybe we can make that happen. But, not automatic and not fucking children. And this is what happens is freaking kid, and whatever, medicine he's on because he transitioned and whatever the side effects, you're pumping all these chemicals in your body. Holy crap, man. Holy crap. So, watching this and thinking, every time there's an active shooter, look at who it is and then look at what happens and then look at what they're creating. It is going to be, more and more until hopefully we get the root of it with, psychology and pharmaceuticals. We're, looking at, I mean, I'm watching, What is a Woman, right? I don't know if you saw that documentary, Matt Walsh. It's really good. Like you're talking to like he's meeting with a physician, a doctor who does trans, whatever the fucking calling it, where she's like, she mutilates children. And he's like, how do you know, so the children knows that they're born in the wrong body at what age? Oh, 3, 6. They know. Oh, you for certain? Yes. It's like, oh, it's like, well, these children, do they also believe in Santa Claus? And she's like, oh, yes, that's wonderful. Okay, so you would agree that maybe their sense of reality is off. She's like, I don't like where you're going with this. He's like, well, these are children. Of course, these are children. They're not equipped to make these decisions for themselves. Yet someone comes to you with a mental illness or in crisis. necessarily an illness, they're in crisis and confused, and you're telling them, yeah, you're right. You're just giving into it and going, and then you have somebody who's a freaking doctor performing surgeries on it and prescribing medication and all the hormone blockers, which they say are irreversible, is a lie. You have a certain window in which to go through puberty, and if you want to transition back, these are the same drugs they use to castrate pedophiles and homosexuals in the UK. Right? They stopped doing it in 1972 in the UK, but yeah. So they used to do that. Nobody, continues to beat them up for that. They kind of get a pass on it, right? So, you've got these castration drugs, which are not reversible. And like I said, you've got a certain time in your life to go through puberty. After that, it's over. You block that, I'm like, you're screwed. So, we're doing that. What effect does that have on the, on the brain chemistry and what's going on in their heads? So, you have all these things. We're creating these killers, which is what it is, and we're blaming the gun and not the cause, because you're looking back. I'm like, why is this happening now more than ever? People are saying the guns. Oh, well, look, we have guns. We've always had guns. So, this is an assault on the Second Amendment, and which is eventually assault on free speech. So, I don't know. I'm done with that.
I mean, all the Bill of Rights, not just free speech, right?
Yeah.
Right. But exactly. But it's the top two.
It'll be hard. It'll be hard to keep troops out of your house when you don't have a gun.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So that's what they want. They want you to, to be compliant, and just they want us to just shut up. We know better and do what you want. That's it. That's why they don't get audited, right? That's why they're allowed to insider trade. That's why that's why they're allowed to, operate and just above the law.
Yeah.
And you've got, why is it that the richest counties in the United States are right outside DC? They're politicians. It's not Silicon Valley. It's there. So it's said, where there's a money, there's a crime, fellas. On that note, yeah, we're good.
We are good.
Okay. So, again, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Don't forget, like and subscribe. We got the free classes underneath. Hit those. Contact us. All the information's underneath. We are going to be moving to a new time next week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. So we'll post that. Set your calendar. Set your clocks. Again, until next time, everybody, train honestly.